We're going on the offense, guys. We're taking the fight straight to the head of the beast, and this time, it's on our terms. See, Trump and his mad lad of a lawyer, Stephen Miller, have launched this two-pronged attack designed to finally put this judiciary back in its place. And yet again, it's absolute silence from the mainstream media on this. Okay, so what's the big move our boy Stephen Miller's got under his sleeve to push the line while Trump comes through with the sweep? Well, to kick things off, our boy Miller has launched a lawsuit against Chief Justice Roberts, specifically in his capacity as the official head of two agencies apparently in charge of overseeing the judiciary. The Administrative Office of the United States Courts, which is basically like the executive assistant to the judicial branch, handles everything from legal, financial management, administrative assistance, IT support, you name it. Next up is the Judicial Conference of the United States, which basically oversees the rules and policies that dictate the standard operating procedures of the U.S. courts. So together, these two agencies basically represent the entire accountability system of the judiciary. The lawsuit was filed by the America First Legal Foundation against Roberts in his capacity as the official head of the U.S. Judicial Conference and Robert J. Conrad, who serves as the director of the Administrative Office of the courts. The complaint accuses both the U.S. Judicial Conference and the Administrative Office of the U.S. Courts of performing certain duties that go beyond the scope of resolving cases or controversies or administratively supporting those actions, which they argue comprise the core functions of the judiciary. They argue that because of this, these regulatory bodies should be brought under the purview of the executive branch so they can face increased accountability through things like FOIA requests, which, I thought was really interesting to learn that not only does the judiciary govern its own behavior, but isn't subject to any external oversight or review outside of the massive burden that comes with trying to garner some sort of congressional action. America First Legal cited in its lawsuit recent actions taken by both the Judicial Conference and Administrative Office in 2023 to accommodate requests from Congress to investigate allegations of ethical improprieties by Justices Thomas and Alito, and subsequently to create or adopt an ethics code for justices on the High Court. Under our constitutional tradition, accommodations with Congress are the province of the executive branch, America First Legal said, adding the Judicial Conference and the Administrative Office are therefore executive agencies and must therefore be overseen by the president, not the courts. So here's basically what Miller was trying to get at. Every branch is supposed to be able to check the branches sitting next to them. So we're all very aware right now of the judicial branch's ability to check the executive. I don't think we need a recap of that right now. Now, the executive branch can check Congress through veto powers, which then raises the stakes to a 2/3 majority if Congress wants to override the veto. And Congress can check the executive branch through impeachment proceedings and investigative committees like we've seen. Now, Congress and the judiciary have a very similar back and forth, with Congress being able to impeach members of the judiciary as well and affect the budget or even pass laws to restrict the courts, which the courts will have the chance to review. Now, here's the thing. There's nothing like that going from the executive to the judiciary. Like, similar to how the judiciary isn't even subject to FOIA requests, they basically just self-regulate. And remember, we were talking some of the changes the judiciary made in 2023, right? Well, that was due to Democrats in Congress leaning and pressuring the judiciary to investigate. Of all people, Thomas and Alito, the two most principled judges on the bench right now. And the judicial branch's response was to run an internal investigation, make internal changes, and those changes in the investigation itself are not even subject to FOIA requests. And sure, you can say we like Alito and Thomas, and so we're glad there wasn't a real investigation, whatever. We like them because we believe they have their heads screwed on straight, and so with that, naturally, an investigation would come up clean. What bothers me is the complete lack of oversight or accountability for our judicial branch, while the entire judicial branch is attempting to backseat drive our whole country when we're in the middle of stopping for gas and cleaning out the car. So if you ask me, thank you, Stephen Miller, because this is the perfect move to pair with what Trump is doing coming up behind him right now. So we've mapped out Miller's play. How is this the perfect setup for Trump? So, what could Trump be doing while Stephen Miller is putting the current judiciary in check and working to restore some checks and balances to our legal system here? Our man Trump is coming through behind Miller and filling judicial vacancies as fast as he can, man. Not only are we moving to put this corrupt judiciary in check, but we are also putting in conservative judges who understand the mission. Judges like Joshua M. Devine, Missouri's Solicitor General, who's actually the lawyer that grabbed that antitrust ruling against China that we talked about a couple months back as being part of the government's strategy to requisition land that we'd previously sold to China. Or Christian Stephen, another member of the Federalist Society, like Joshua Devine. Look, I'm not a big fan of the Federalist Society. Honestly, I'm more of an anti-federalist myself because federalism is all about having a strong central authority to fight against the chaos of decentralization. And to me personally, that's just obsolete thinking at this point, especially with modern instant communication methods, but without even getting into all that. I will take a federalist any day over these progressive judicial activists. These judges that essentially feel the rules should only apply to people they don't like. Look, I say we stay on the offense. While we're grabbing this lever and seeing what it can do, let's look down the wall, see what else we can grab onto, what other levers we can pull. So anyway, what do you guys think about Miller's argument here in this upcoming court battle? I think he's got a really good argument, especially when you put it in context of the gap that we see in the checks and balances system between the three branches. I'm just wondering who's adjudicating this in the end. The judiciary? Like, are they really gonna rule in favor of more oversight for themselves? Hey, thank you so much for joining me, guys. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, share the video with someone you know. You guys rock, I appreciate you, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next one.